What's the Regional Fire Authority been up to?
Well, I got a couple things to talk about. One, every year we pair up with McClendon's Hardware in town, and we give away. McClendon started giving away batteries for people, replacing batteries every year. As you know, you're supposed to replace your batteries when the time change.
Yep.
And McClendon's Hardware does a battery exchange. And about 5 years ago, we started adding a smoke detector giveaway to it. So if you need a smoke detector, or 2 smoke detectors, or 3 smoke detectors, come into McClendon's Hardware in Belfair on Saturday the 14th, this Saturday, 10 to 2, and you can get those batteries, smoke detectors. You need help installing them, we'll take care of you there. And kind of a reminder to the people listening is smoke detectors aren't good after 10 years. So every 10 years, you need to replace your smoke detector device itself. So people have houses that are older than 10 years old.
Yeah.
Need to remember that those only last for about 10 years, and then you have to get rid of them. So you'll notice they start giving you more false alarms, or they're not working properly. That's why they're good for 10 years. And
better than just taking them out and leaving them empty. Get new ones.
Exactly. Yeah. Just come. I mean, they're free. Come down and get them. We'll give you as many as you need. Help you install them.
So let me ask you this question on these. I was looking at one of mine the other day and replacing the battery, although I think it's probably time to replace the unit. And it's got the place for the battery, but it's also got that plug that plugs in, I guess, to the whole system or something like that. Is that a universal plug, or do I need to replace my the smoke detectors that I have in with the exact same model?
So that plug goes to wires in your house, and they're easily you can wire those pretty easily. But usually the plug is proprietary to the smoke detector itself.
Okay.
We just replaced all of ours in our house, and I ordered the same smoke detector, the same brand, and the plug has been updated. So I had to end up rewiring all my plugs too.
Oh, wow.
And that plug does a couple things. One, it gives you power to the smoke detector. 2, it interconnects all your smoke detectors. So if one goes off, they all go off.
Okay.
And that's a building code and fire code thing that came out years ago, that all the smoke detectors are supposed to go off. So those 3 wires, that's what they're for. And then the battery, and it's just a backup to that, just in case the power goes out.
What about carbon monoxide?
So carbon monoxide, those are really coming down in price. I think they're $12, $13 now.
Yeah.
1 per floor. In houses that have gas powered or gas devices or attached to a garage, they're required. They're only good for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And interesting with the technology of smoke or in carbon monoxide detectors is they actually put a timer in there. So after 5 years, the carbon monoxide detector will actually tell you that the device needs to be replaced. It will beep a certain beep pattern. And if you pull the carbon monoxide detector off the wall and look at the back, it will tell you what the different beep patterns are. And we've gone to a couple houses that it will be beeping, they replace the battery and it still beeps. Well, the timer is telling you that the device is 5 years old and needs to be replaced.
Wow. What goes wrong in these things?
Well, it's basically the radioactive material. There's a little tiny small radioactive material in the smoke detectors, and they just basically put a lifespan on that. 10 years, it's bad. The sensing devices and the carbon monoxide detectors, they just put a 5-year. The manufacturer says 5 years, these need to be replaced, because obviously they're not going to last forever.
Sure.
So that's just the timeline that they put on, and they put safety features in there so you know as a consumer that I should replace them.
So smoke detectors we usually see in the ceilings. Carbon monoxide, should they be low to the ground or high to the ground?
Well, it really depends on the manufacturer's recommendations. They make them both. They actually make smoke carbon monoxide combination detectors that go on the ceiling. They make plug-in ones. Carbon monoxide is a lot higher technology. What they do is they just change the parts per million that it senses. So if it's up high, carbon monoxide is going to stay towards the ground, but it's going to diffuse through the air. So what it does is it changes the parts per million at the ceiling level to be a lot lower than what the alarm level at the floor level would be, because it'd be a higher concentration on the floor. So look at where they tell you to mount them. They come with instructions. They give you the height where it should be mounted. and it gives you the locations of that. If you need help with that, go give us a call. Give any station a call. They'll take care of that for you.
So again, some smoke detectors and still the battery exchange too. If people want to just change those at McClendon's Hardware this weekend, Saturday 14th from 10 to 2. What else is going on?
Well, the burn ban's been lifted.
Yeah.
So you could now have yard debris fires and recreational fires, and if you have a land clearing permit, those are open right now to continue with that. Just kind of remember, there's a lot of fires still going on in the United States right now.
What are some of the updates on this? We were talking this morning about the Napa and Sonoma fires, but also there's stories about still fires down along the Columbia River.
Well, I think when you look at the rain, you go, oh, it rained. Everything is okay, we could burn now. And if you go out there and you still look at the grass is still dry. While it might have dew on it and it might have a little rain on it, it's still dry. Take a shovel and just dig under some of that grass. You'll see the ground's still dry.
Yeah.
So it's good that the burn ban has been lifted. The fuel levels and the moisture content is there, but still, as a fire burns, it preheats the material. And that material has a lot less preheating that needs to be done because we just came off of a huge warm spell.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that stuff in mind when you are burning. And the other big thing is the smoke and the quality levels, air quality levels. Then we may not have a high fire hazard level, but we have a high health hazard level for smoke. So that could also trigger a burn ban to go in effect and not go in effect. And we saw that early in the season when it was dry, but we were still allowing fire, and then Olympic Air came out and said, hey, we're going to put on a burn ban because of the smoke or the air quality.
Oh.
So there's two different ways that burn ban gets triggered, and the county regulates the fire danger part of it. Olympic Air regulates the health hazard part of it. So
what kind of things does the North Mason Regional Fire Authority do amazing to talk about it, but we're close into these holiday seasons. We've got Halloween upcoming, and I'm sure there's always a good push to remind folks that trick-or-treaters will be out on the roads on that, what is it? It's a Tuesday this year. That, and then moving forward into Thanksgiving and Christmas. What kind of ways do you guys give back at North Mason?
Well, we really work with the schools to kind of educate good places for trick-or-treaters to go. We have a lot of neighborhoods in the North Mason and Allen areas where they're very friendly to the kids. They really discourage cars driving through the neighborhood and more of a walking pattern type situation.
Wow, okay.
The other things are, in years past, we kind of go about every other year. We team up with Harrison Medical Center, CHI Franciscan, to give out little blinking lights for the kids. So this is an off year, if you're hearing me now. Next year we'll come back to that, but the kids get the blinking lights and work with them on that. And then, of course, in the Christmas time, we got Santa trailer goes around. We work with our Firefighters Association. We bring Santa around all the North Mason neighborhoods and hand out smoke detectors and candy canes and fire prevention materials, and it works out really good.
You guys start booking Santa now because he books up quick.
You're right,
especially to go through these neighborhoods.
Oh yeah, and it was something years ago. Mike Green started, our former fire chief, and I tell you what, we had one time last year it snowed, and the amount of phone calls we got because it wasn't safe to bring Santa through the neighborhood. He was, believe it or not, he was snowed in that time, and wow, that was people really planned for Santa to come in, and we changed Santa's schedule, and we get in a lot of trouble. Yeah, so this year it will be posted. There's a flyer coming out. Our newsletter's coming out here first part of November, and have that schedule in there, and some other good fire safety tips. Which the big push we're going now is. I don't know how much time I have, Jeff, but we're working on chimney cleaning now. Make sure these people, if you're starting your fireplace for the first time, clean your chimney. Clean your chimney. We've already seen some chimney fires coming up, and it's really encouraging people to make sure their chimney's clean. Even if they have a pellet stove, clean that chimney.
These chimney cleaning logs that are for sale, I've talked with fire folks in the past over the years, and they tell me that all these things really do is just get your chimney just super duper hot to the point where everything burns inside the chimney, but on the other end of that, the outside of the chimney warms up too. So there's some dangers with those things.
Yeah, you know, what happens in chimney fires is the creosote that builds up over time basically ignites and causes this jet engine type effect. And like you clean your oven at home, you know, it heats up really, really hot and burns everything in the oven, then you sweep it out.
Yeah.
The ancillary part of that is all the stuff that surrounds your chimney pipe, you know, heats up.
Yeah.
So, you know, those manufacturers of those chimney logs, they don't say use it once a year. They say use it every once in a while. So the amount of material that's in that chimney doesn't build up. What we find is people build it up over a year and then throw one of those logs in there, and then it burns all this creosote and causes some problems to the outside of the chimney pipe or cracks their chimney pipe.
So chimney sweeps still probably the best bet?
You know, I don't clean my own chimney. I hire somebody to come do it because I just don't know enough about that. They check the liners. They make sure that the pipe's good. They usually replace the top cap if there's issues with that. They make sure it drafts properly, and that's kind of what I recommend for people. I mean, if you clean your chimney every single year or a couple times a year, and you've done it for years, and you understand how the piping works and the flue and all that stuff, then you know, good, you could do that. But there's a lot of people that just, you know, think they could clean the chimney with the chimney brush.
Yeah.
And I think there's more that goes into it. I watched the guy clean my chimney. He's there for quite a long time. So there's a lot of things he does to make sure that my family's safe. And really for the time to have it done, it's a pretty big fire hazard in your house if you don't have it done right.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, good tips there. You can find more with the North Mason Regional Fire Authority online, on social media. Move to the chamber then. You're going to be at the Pumpkin Chunkin' event at the end of the month?
I hope to. Yeah, that's was that the 28th,
the 28th,
right?
Yeah, out at Hunter Farms. It's going to be a Saturday.
Boy, that's going to be my first year. I hear about it every year, and I have to go see this. This is going to be a phenomenal event.
I'll tell you, it'll be my first year too, and me and Commissioner Drexler are going to be judges on this one.
Wow.
And now I don't know what that means, if they're going to just say, hey, let's get Commissioner Drexler and we'll get Jeff. We'll just put him out in the field.
If you get hit, they win, or
yeah, I think that may be it. That could be how it works. We'll find out. But it's going to be a fun event out there at Hunter Farms as we roll into the holiday season. Jeromy Hicks from the North Mason Regional Fire Authority. Always nice talking with you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Have
Jeff.
a great one. It is.